I got to be in debt, I think, over around 2 million.
Meet Coach Ntando, an entrepreneur who had a debt of 2 million because of his business.
You lost your business, you lost your money, but you never lost your skills from just losing a business. And when you lose a business, remember, it's bad, it feels bad, but you still can bounce back. For me, I took 5 years of watching my life fall apart. Man, I saw what it's like for the sheriff to come to your house and claim your property. And then when them guys come, they look at your TV, your fridge, and all this stuff, and they say, all right, so your fridge, yeah, we see it's got the nice 2 doors and all of the accessories, but I think we will put it at 3,000. And you think, what? I got kicked out of apartments, I think 5 times in a period of 5 years. So it's like life was getting progressively worse each year.
Brother Ntando, how are you?
Good, man. Good, and happy to be here.
Good to see you.
Good seeing you, man.
Yeah, we've been having a chat for the last, I think, 1 hour, 30 minutes or so, talking about finance and business.
And you didn't know you were mentoring.
Well, I didn't know that I was getting a free service because of you are a mentor. You help people who are in business.
But you are one too, man. You've done well to build this platform.
Yeah.
It's a great platform. It's a platform that many people earn a lot of value from. So congratulations on that.
Nah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming through and making time, man.
Super happy to be here, man.
People like you don't just make time for everybody. Millionaires like yourself don't just make time for everybody.
The thing is, we got here with a lot of scars and some cut deep. So I like you've had an interview with a friend of mine, Percy.
Yeah.
And I like to joke with him and other people when we're in seminars to say he got to where he is doing things the right way, like off the bat from his first job. I was the opposite. So if it was a classroom, I would be one of those slow students that take really long to figure it out. Sure. Because for me, it took a lot of loss, a lot of pain, a lot of anger along the way, a lot of resentment along the way until I eventually figured it out. So I guess many people benefit from learning from the two worlds. People who've just always done it right and others that had to figure it out and learn the hard way.
Let me get to know you before we get into the nitty-gritty of things.
Yeah.
Who are you and where are you from, man?
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
So I think, who am I? I'll summarize it by I am a coach, a business coach. I work with incubators and accelerators around the country. A lot of them, I train entrepreneurs. I'm an NLP coach. I studied NLP, which is called Neuro-Linguistics Programming. More focus on the mind and how the mind works. And we coach people based on that. I'm an author of that book, Welcome to Financial Freedom.
Yeah.
And launching another book next month called Atomic Mindset, which is linked to my podcast, which is Mindset Profits.
Oh, amazing.
So I've got that. I host a radio show called The Good Money Show every Wednesday on Hopper Live Radio.
Okay.
And in general, I think I've been known for being that caring, chilled guy that's been through a lot, lost his business and decided after he came out to become a coach and help a lot of people. So in defining myself, I go back to where my story really kicks off.
Yeah.
Because at some point in my journey as an enthusiastic young man, we had a business and the business was flying. But when that business fell, I got into a cycle of debt that made things significantly worse for myself. So I look at what happened with me then and what's happening with a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners now, where you're in a bad situation. And when you look at your situation, you look at your bank account, you go and progressively make things and take decisions that make that bad situation significantly worse in 5 years' time. It's like you're in debt 2,000 and you can see minus 2,000 in the bank, but every choice, every decision you take from that point takes you to minus. In my case, I got to be in debt, I think, over around 2 million from just losing a business. And when you lose a business, remember, it's bad, it feels bad, but you still can bounce back. For me, I took 5 years of watching my life fall apart. Man, I saw what it's like for the sheriff to come to your house and claim your property. And then when them guys come, they look at your TV, your fridge, and all this stuff, and they say, all right, so your fridge, yeah, we see it's got the nice 2 doors and all of the accessories, but I think we will put it at 3,000. And you think, what? I bought that for 20.
Yeah.
So nah, it's 3,000. And they're not negotiating, they're telling you.
So they don't just take your personal items, they also evaluate them to say
They give them a value because remember, they say, all right, so for in the estate, this is how much you're owing. Because I was owing even in the estate before I got kicked out. So this is how much you're owing, right? To cover that up, we have to look at all the assets that you have. We're going to place a value on them, and then we'll take them to the auction. So when they came, they would look at your fridge, look at your couches, look at all the gym equipment, everything. Basically, that is sellable at an auction. Place a value. They can even look at your cars. I felt what that was like. In fact, I felt what it was like for them to give them those low values and then come and take it all away. And then from that time, I lost the apartment. I got kicked out of apartments, I think 5 times in a period of 5 years. So it's like life was getting progressively worse each year. And I'm a Christian, so every time I'd be praying and saying, God, where are you?
Were you not fasting though?
Amen. I tried everything. You fast, you pray, all night prayers. Okay, you go to the bush and you're saying, God, where are you? But yeah, no.
But I'm happy that you didn't bump into those false prophets whereby they would say, look, for you to get your businesses back, you need to give me 10,000. The Lord is saying.
Those make me so angry. That's like one of my triggers. Can I tell you a secret?
Yeah.
It's in the podcast. It's one of the topics that I make it a point to bring up. And I've said I'm going to invite men of God as well. So just to have some level of accountability, because what has happened is when it was bad for me, what actually helped me was a pastor or the person that helped rehabilitate me 5 years later. And when I give talks, I say what a difference 10 years can make. Because 10 years ago, I was distressed, disillusioned, discouraged, depressed, and divorced. So when all of this was happening and my life was falling apart and I wasn't really doing anything to fight back, it got super bad. That's where I ended up. So this man of God hears that, hey, young man, you are Koisha out there. Find him. He finds me and I get to stay at his house. And what you're saying, to your point, I always say he didn't put oil and water and I didn't eat grass and snakes and he didn't spray doom on me and all of the nonsense that we end up we keep seeing and stuff. Right? So because there are really good men of God out there that are called to do this, that help people and that are preaching the right message. But because there's a lot of these fake ones that have come up, it becomes Christianity is even losing in numbers as a religion because of it. But for me, I'm always grateful that in my darkest moment in life, it was a good man of God that found me. And a wealthy man of God that found me. And I got to stay at his house. And that process, man, just staying with the wealthy man and just observing how he lives his life, that was rehabilitation for me. He was having the kind of conversations with me where he sits and says, what are your dreams, man? What are your goals in life? And at first, this part is important because I said, at first I would get so angry with why are we talking about dreams and goals, man? You can see how thin I am. You can see I don't have clothes and stuff. I've run out. Why don't you zama me with 10,000 yana?
So that you can start up something
Yeah,
small.
and say, you know what, young man, good you're here. Just go try something out there. And it was like a trigger for me at first because I had that sense of entitlement. And sometimes when you're poor, you end up feeling that and you don't realize. You feel the world owes you. You feel like people around you must just give you money. And a lot of people don't realize that's what they're doing. And the more you do it, the more you start repelling even the people that want to help you because of just the attitude and the energy you bring to asking for help. It comes from a place of entitlement. So that was me. But he kept at it and he exposed me to his library. He had a room full of books. And he would say, when I've gone to work, pick a book, read it. When I come back, we're going to talk about it. So one of the books I picked up was The Richest Man in Babylon.
Okay.
And when I was reading that, for some reason, these phones listen to you. I was reading that. And when I got to YouTube, I came across Jim Rohn's videos.
Okay.
And Jim Rohn was like the master that got me started on this path. So I heard that he recommends this book as well. I read the book, I watch his videos, and then the mentor comes, the pastor, and I tell him, this is the book I'm reading. He says, this is how I'm applying it. These are the principles that I'm applying in that book. This is what I've taught my kids. And then I pick a different book another day. Same conversation. Oh yeah, that one is so cool. This is what I did. And then it started to hit me, man. But if you are this broke and this desperate and you've never been reading since you were in business, never touched a book, that was me. But he's this wealthy, he doesn't really need to. I was in that place to say, if he's so wealthy, he doesn't really need to pick up a book. But he's picking up books and reading and developing himself. Something is wrong with me. I'm missing something here. So that was the first time it really hit me hard. Maybe I've been living life the wrong way. Maybe I've exposed myself to the wrong things. Maybe all this time, my potential has always been here and waiting for me to live up to it. But every choice, every decision, and how I've been living my life kept me here. And here is risky. Because if something wrong happens, there isn't room to fall. And I found myself there. Where I was living my life way below my potential. And business collapses and that takes you straight into debt.
Sure.
So that margin of safety wasn't there.
Yeah. Tell me about the process, because there's no way that a business can just collapse in one day, especially the kind of business that you had. When was that point whereby you kind of saw, I don't know, maybe you saw your balance sheet and you were like, here we are actually going down the drain. But tell me about the process of what really happened when your business actually got to the point whereby it's failing now.
All right. So this one is the business itself wasn't really failing.
Okay.
It was the partnership that failed. So we fell apart with the partners, split, and others decided, and we're taking the money.
Was it disagreements?
The kind of disagreements and fights that make... so let's say we're in partnership.
Yeah.
And there's money in the bank and you decide, you know what? You are not the one working. This is my money. And you say, I'm not giving you.
I get you.
So it was those kinds. The business itself was good. The consulting was great. And we had a lot of accreditations. We were working with the DTI back then. We were working with mines. And as young guys, we were doing really well. And we had even decided to not pay ourselves like a lot of money so that we create a reserve and move into other businesses. And I think that's what money does sometimes. Once money is there in a reserve account, the real characters of people and attitudes start to come out, which is why partnerships become tricky sometimes if you are in partnerships with the wrong people. When the money comes, even in marriage, man, there's marriages where you find a wife saying, we were happy until the tender came. It's like,
you're scaring me. You're scaring me. You're scaring me. That's okay. Yeah.
Tender came and just unlocked the beast in this man, or the opposite. money is, we call it the great amplifier. So we are all good people, and we all at least can pretend to be great people until there's that million right there.
Do you think, especially black people, do you think black people need to go to money counseling? I would call it like money education, to teach you what to do with money when the money comes now. But there's just something that's happening with us black people, especially when the money comes in. You get a 5 million tender, and it's money that you're not used to. Let's say your business was making close to 300,000 in a year, and now you get this 5 million tender that is gonna be like in the next. It's valid for like 3-4 months, and all of a sudden you just change just like that. And sometimes I feel like we need to be very careful with the partners that we go into business with, because most of the time we don't really evaluate partners because you're like, I like this guy. That's your evaluation.
Yeah.
And you go into the business only to find out that when the money is here now, there's always fights. And I really feel like this is why a lot of the time partners would start, killing each other. Because one of the partner wants to take over the business.
It goes that far.
I don't know, man. What do you think?
It does. I like how you're framing it, man. This is like, you've got business context for this. So there's a number of things at play. One, money personalities. When we are growing up, our experiences, lessons around money, they change us. We all have money experiences and encounters that changed how we show up when money is there. Some people become investors, just down to how they grew up, what they got exposed to, what they picked up and learned. Some become aggressive savers. Some become aggressive spenders.
Yes.
Some become avoidance. They just avoid and bury their hand in the sand, whether the money is there or not. It's like it's detached.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And some become givers and generous people. We call them flyers. So we develop a personality around money. When you're talking about a partner, it's more doing the diagnostics to say, what personality is my partner, what personality am I, because all of them have got positives and negatives. We just need to find, if your spenders are amazing to go on holiday with, because you're going to have a nice time.
Yes.
Savers, not so much. We call them stingy, right?
Yeah.
But they are amazing for keeping the family safe. So you know that there's disadvantages and advantages in all of them.
Yeah.
What are the advantages that we can tap in based on your personality? That's how you make it work in partnerships. But when it comes to your first question about us black people and there's something wrong, that's why the show, my favorite one, I Blew It, is there. So you always have a blueprint, a money blueprint. It's like you have a set point where there's an amount of money that you're comfortable with and can manage at any point in time. That's true for me. That's true for you.
Yeah.
Even right now, right? But you're not stuck to that setting, right? If you're able to manage 10,000 without panicking right now, you're not stuck for the rest of your life at 10,000. We can give you 100,000 in 10 years' time, because the difference between you now and you in 10 years' time is you've been growing, you've been learning, you've been educating yourself, you've been exposing yourself to other mentors and other people who handle money better than you. You've learned and introduced good money habits in that 10 years' time. So 100,000 or a million coming to you then doesn't faze you. But right now, while you're still at the 10K, if 100K lands in your account, you're not sleeping. That song is true, man. That money lands in your account, sleep is going to evade you, and every bad decision you can fathom comes next, straight after that.
Because that's what I'm asking you, that if maybe you are used to 10,000, you know how to manage 10,000.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you just get 100,000 and you don't sleep. How do you find a way to calm down and breathe? And like, you know what? I've got this. I used to have 1 out of 10 with what I have now.
Yeah.
Now I have 10 out of 10, which is 100,000. But how do I find a way to like calm down? Do you get what I mean?
Let me give you the way I blew it first, and then show you how you can come out and calm yourself down. So I never used to think about it that way, that there's an amount of money that I can handle and there's an amount of money that I can't handle at a certain point in time, right? Until I got a black card. And when I got it, I got a message that said, we can give you 200, just 220 something pre-approved on your credit card. We can increase your limit to that. And I thought, this is not the kind of money I'm used to being available. And I hit accept. I wasn't even reading the terms and conditions, which is why I say Percy did well, it right. I learned the hard way. So I accept, and like 5 minutes later, it's available. And I always say 2 months later, it's all gone. I couldn't really account for where it had gone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that was my issue. I realized that there isn't just an amount of money, which is positive cash that you can handle. There's also an amount of debt, access to debt that you can't handle.
Yeah.
For me, I got to realize I can't handle available 200K debt at that point in time, right? And the journey and lessons from coming out to, when you do the process of you owe the bank 220 and you get a lump sum, you pay 10,000, you remove the 10,000 from your limit, like you reduce your credit card limit by 10, then you pay 20, you reduce it by 20 until it was around 30K or so that I could manage that limit. So that process taught me the value of then learning how to handle money better and learning how to handle debt better and learning how to use debt more effectively. So when I learned that, to your question, how do you calm yourself down? I realized that if the money that just landed is the kind of money that I'm not used to, there's someone I know in my life who is used to handle that money and someone I know and trust, right? If there isn't, there are coaches out there. And if you come to me as a coach and you tell me about your monies, I will talk to you not wanting to get a cent.
Yeah.
Well, you pay for the consultation. But beyond that, not wanting to get anything out of your money, because my job is just to help you manage the money better. When you get that extra eye, that always helps. So you get a mentor, you get a coach, you get someone that you trust, someone who is used to handling more money, and the people in your life that calm you down. Some people are not always that lucky. The people around them are just toxic, and once they hear that there's money, it's going to be more problems, and they would rather just work with coaches. There's that. The second one, someone taught me about a financial fast, which is every time money lands in your account. Actually, this works even with the 10,000 that you say you used to. If you are 10,000 lands today, there's the first round of bills, which is your rent and stuff that you can't avoid. Let those run out. But from there, fasts for a week or 5 days or something. Don't spend a cent. What you'll realize if you're not spending money is what you thought was a priority is going to shift. What you thought was urgent, you'll realize maybe it's not so urgent. What you thought you needed now, you'll realize maybe actually this I can get in 2 months' time. So a lot changes when you pause, when you put the brakes on spending and just decide the money is there, I'm still going to spend, but let me just wait. So that becomes a big mindset shift. The financial fast, that's a very powerful one. That is powerful. And getting the third eye or the second opinion from a coach, a mentor, or someone that you trust, absolutely trust, because money is that sensitive. That's a powerful one. And I think if I were to add something there, those are the two most powerful ones. Those are the two most powerful ones. You can also talk to a financial advisor. These ones are paid professionals that will help you look at your circumstances, help you start thinking long-term, because one thing about long-term planning is it brings short-term clarity. If someone he has a conversation with you about what your goals are for the next 10 years, it's probably a conversation that you've never had. And the reason why you have a spending culture that's quite high and toxic is because you're not gearing your mind to think what you want to design your life for 10 years' time, right? And as long as you're not thinking about what you want your life to be 10 years' time, in 10 years' time, spending is easy today. And the last one becomes tools like budgeting, which is something that a financial advisor will take you through as well, where we look at how you're allocating your money currently. And someone who is a trained professional then looks at your finances and say, okay, this is the percentage that goes to spending, saving, investing, giving, how you are currently allocating your money, and does it work for this 10-year goal that you want to have, 10-year design of your life. You start to realize that if I keep spending my money the way I'm spending it, I'm not going to reach that 10-year goal. I need to reallocate what I have better. Because for many people, it's never really that they need more money now. They need to make better choices about the money that they have.
It's just the choices.
It's the choices. It's how you're currently allocating your money. And the choices in lifestyle, the choices in where to spend the money. And for many people, they never think saving, they never think investing. Those two are never in their money allocation. Some are on giving. It's weird because you can find, I always say there's 5 ways money flows out of your pocket when you get it. Like you can spend it, you can save it, you can invest it, you can give it, and the last one, you can waste it. Spend it, save it, invest it, give it, or you can waste it. So you look at how you're currently allocating your money, you're going to see how much goes to wastage, which is probably the stuff that you don't need to be spending money on. And for different people, you know yourself, right? You look at saving, how much is going to saving? And I always laugh and say, if we look at how much money from what you earned 2 months ago is still available in your account for you to use now, then you start to see your savings culture. And many people laugh in a workshop because they always know the answer, right? From 2 months ago, why are you saying 2 months? Even here last month, it's gone, right? That means that habit is not instilled in them. And then if that habit is not there, you definitely know they're not going to be investing.
Do you believe that the notion of, or the statement rather, of money comes and go?
Money comes and goes.
Yeah.
Well, the people that say other statements like it just disappears, or I don't know where it all goes, or money is there to be spent. All of these are negative affirmations. And every time you use them, they condition you to think in a certain way about money. They condition you to think scarcity. They condition you to think lack. They condition you to normalize money not being there. So you don't realize that you're normalizing the status quo. And that kills the drive that is supposed to be there and the hunger that's supposed to be there in you to fight to change your circumstance. You just say money comes and goes. So it is what it is.
If you believe it, then you'll start seeing money coming and going.
And the more you keep saying it, the more affirmations work and they are powerful. Many people, when they say, I don't believe in affirmations, they're always referring to the positive affirmations. And we know that they have their limitations because they work within a spectrum. If I say an affirmation that tomorrow I'm going to make $1 billion, even when you say it, man, you know I'm lying. So it means that $1 billion affirmation is outside of your spectrum. Your mind, your whole nervous system knows this is a lie. So the more you say it, the more you're wasting your time saying stuff that your body doesn't believe. That's the whole spectrum thing. But what many people don't realize is there are negative affirmations and we say them all the time. That statement is an example. Money doesn't grow on trees. It's an example. I'm just not good with money. It's an example. I'm shy. It's an example. All of these are affirmations. Right? I'm going to have a bad year. I'm going to have a bad day. That's an affirmation. It's just negative. And you don't realize that every time you're saying this, you're conditioning yourself for scarcity. You're conditioning yourself to have that bad day. You're conditioning yourself to accept it when it does happen and say, all right, I saw this coming. So you're not surprised and you don't react.
Let's go back to failing in business.
Yeah.
I mean, you had an incredible business. I'm sure it was making over 100 million in
I didn't get that, but it probably would have.
because come on, man, you were working with mines and having a couple of contracts there and there, and it failed, because I think a lot of us, when we start a business, we don't plan to fail. We make sure that this business has to succeed. Do you think that as an entrepreneur, you should find a way to, even though you have so much room in believing that this thing is going to work, do you think that we need to prepare ourselves for failure?
Okay. There's a statement we say in NLP. It's called failure is data, not a destination. We say there's no failure, there's only feedback. So how I would say prepare yourself for it is prepare yourself as an entrepreneur for running experiments, many experiments in your business, which also means some of them are going to work, some of them are not going to work, which is failure, right? But if you've conditioned yourself to run a lot of experiments all the time, and that becomes your culture. Mark Cuban puts it nicely. He says, in business, it's the one place where you can fail 1,000 times. You only have to be right once, because it's that one strategy, that one product, that one market, that one connection that can launch you to 10 times, sometimes 100 times the size of your business. What you want is to condition yourself to know that because you're running a series of experiments, a lot of them are not going to work. And it's just part of the process. So you want to be learning, you want to be growing, but there's going to be a lot of things that you try out that don't work, right? But again, once that's established in business, sometimes there are reasons why things don't work. And when you're close to the problem, sometimes you're too close to see why it didn't work. And that's why you need the second eye, the second opinion, right? A different perspective. That's why coaching, mentorship, training and stuff, because it brings that added lens and that mirror that you didn't have because you were too close to the situation. Sometimes your business can fail because you selected the wrong market, and changing a market was just going to be an easy decision for you as an entrepreneur. Sometimes there are opportunities that you are not tapping into because you lacked confidence and self-belief, right? And so you kept hesitating to move on them. And you placed a very low cap on the potential of your business because of that. You, the entrepreneur, not believing. Sometimes there are strategies you could be using for marketing, for example, and getting a lot of clients that you don't know about. And because you don't know better, you think you've tried everything until you talk to someone who knows. In 5 minutes, they tell you, have you tried this? And you realize, oh, flip, I actually, that's my one. That would work for me, right? So there are many reasons why businesses fail. And actually, even today, I saw a message. I posted something after I activated my Facebook to say I'm going to be coaching and stuff and posting some advice. Someone said, I am so happy that I called you, because that day when I called you, I was about to quit my business. Wow. And when she reached out, it was like a 10-minute conversation. And I was saying, how the heck do you think about quitting? Have you thought about this? Have you tried this? And she said, oh, yeah, should have called you months ago.
The power of a mentor. I get you.
The power of a mentor.
Yeah.
Because failing is part of business, part of the process. That's why we learn, we build resilience, we grow and stuff. But sometimes there's the kind of failure that can be avoided. And when you're too close to the problem, you won't see that that's the one I'm dealing with in the moment. That's why then it's good to, even if it's not mentors, man, just as I can talk to you as a brother, and we're both in business, and have a conversation about my business. You're going to have a perspective that can help me make the shift. right? And in the conversation, sometimes you can say something that triggers me to think of an idea that's going to work for me. So it's not always mentors. Sometimes it's talking to other entrepreneurs that you're on the same journey with, talking to other people that are trying to do the same thing and encouraging each other. Sometimes we overcomplicate it to think it's always mentors and you need to be paying and stuff. A lot of the people that reach out to me, I always then say, just let's have a 15-minute call. I want to see if you need my service or there's a couple of things, obvious things you should be doing now before you engage me. And some walk away after that meeting clear about what they should be doing first before they work with me formally. And they go and do just that. So I'm cool with that. I don't like taking people's money that shouldn't be paying me.
Dude, I'm looking at you now and I can see you're looking, clean, you're smiling. And I'm asking myself how you were able to bounce back. I understand. I would give credits to the pastor. But business is so fun. At the same time, it may not be fun because you can lose the business. On top of that, you can lose other things as well. Personal things. I mean, I look at you now, you lost so many things. I mean, like in a space of 5 years, you were kicked out from apartment number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On top of that, you lost your marriage.
Yeah.
And that is not something to joke about.
It's not.
And I don't know, man, when you think about it and you look back, do you think that is there something that you could have done so that you can try and save a couple of things, including something that is personal like marriage?
Yeah. There's a lot I could have done. So one mindset shift that I always encourage is asking for help is not a weakness. It actually is a sign of strength, especially if you're asking the right people for help.
Yes.
For me, I think I can't blame it on anyone. I think for some reason I had conditioned myself to think I know it all. I've got it figured out. I don't need to be reaching out to people. I don't need people to know my situation. And that statement is true, man, that says an idle mind is the devil's workshop. Because when you're in that bad situation, what many people default to is silence. And they don't realize they suffer more in silence. They suffer more because they hibernate. So I always say asking for help. Reaching out is a sign of strength.
Wow.
Reaching out to people who care about you first and foremost, people who have your well-being at heart. And there are many. It broke my heart, man, when I was talking to this woman. She used to be a friend of mine at varsity. And when I told her my story, she cried and said, how could you go through that for all those years and not even give me a call? And this is someone who had a lot of money, man. And I knew the minute she was saying it, she genuinely meant that if you had called, at least you'd have given me an opportunity to help you. And when you're depressed, when you're disillusioned, when you're discouraged, the thing that you don't do is recognize the people that you know, the skills that you have, the potential that you have, the economy that you live in. You forget all these things, right? And you get caught up in just this world of it's over, not good enough, this is never going to end. And you get caught in self-judgment to the point of forgetting that there are people who care about you. Some can help with advice, some can help with encouragement, some can help with money, some can help with opportunities, some can help with referrals, some can be just that safe space where for that moment that you're with them, you're not caught up in all this negativity. So the first and biggest thing that I would advocate for is reaching out to people for help, because it is a strength. That would have been the biggest shortcut for me for those 5 years. And the funny thing is, when I was divorcing like 5 years later, because now this happened in the mentor, he realized this thing is over, which is the second thing. And he was saying, because you're getting divorced, your failure in marriage shouldn't be your failure as a parent, because now you have a child. And that child should never be penalized because you failed in marriage. The child never asked to be born by the two of you. So you shouldn't penalize them for your failure to keep the marriage. And that sobered me up so much, because when you're losing it all and you're angry and all of these things and there's the fights, I realized, and I made a commitment that no matter how angry I got that day with my ex, I was never going to fight with her. I was going to do everything, every self-mastery trick in the book to always keep myself in the zone and never speak ill of her, never fight, never argue and all of these things. It was always going to be, is this going to help my daughter? Is this going to help my daughter? So that conversation really changed things for me. That's the other thing. When you have a mentor, they can help you reshape your mindset to look at your situation differently. And the biggest shift that can come out of that would be, I'm not my circumstances. And my circumstances are temporary. They are not permanent. I am not the poverty that I see right now. This is just where I've found myself. I can dig myself out. For some people, it becomes their identity. And as long as you don't reach out to anyone who has the power to call you out on your situation, I almost said BS, who has the power to call you out, you will keep that status quo and it becomes your identity. So reach out. Reach out to people who can call you out. If you don't find them, there are seminars, some are free. The other one, reach out. The churches are great if you go to the right one. Sometimes if you go to the wrong one, more harm can come out of that than good. Right? You can end up eating grass because someone said, go eat grass. I want to prove I'm a man of God. And by this time next year, you're going to be fine. I heard of a guy actually, a pastor was saying this. He went and seeded his car to a man of God and say, I'm sowing this seed because...
How do you sow a car as a seed?
Things are happening out there, man. Where have you been?
Hey, bruh, I feel like people are brainwashed out here. How do you sow a car?
The funny thing, he sows for a contract, the contract doesn't come. The next year he came and said, man of God, I need that car back. That contract didn't come.
Did he get the car back though?
He got it back. He was quite forceful about it.
How do you sow a car?
People are buying bricks because someone said, buy a brick. Each brick represents a house that you're going to have in future. Have you checked what African pastors do on YouTube, man? It's crazy. But I believe there are great men of God out there, and those that care about you, and those that will talk to you, and those that will take time to give a platform to give you counseling and stuff. That can be a great place for you, right? But you can also reach out to professionals. There are social workers, there are organizations now that help people who are depressed, and some are even free, right? So reach out to people who can call you out. Someone asked me actually why it took me 5 years to snap out of it. And I simply said, I didn't know better, and there was no one around me who was calling me out. You know, when you believe what you want to believe and you tell yourself a narrative that you are going to keep no matter what. If I come and I'm that guy who says, I know, just you're playing, man. This is not you. This is not your level. If you don't have someone in your life who then can tell you that to your face, then you keep the narrative that you're running with. You keep your excuses. You keep running your story because everyone around you, maybe you made them terrified to tell you the truth because of how you react, right? And they leave you to your story. And that became me. So I don't know if people got scared to tell me because I was the grumpy young man always shouting all over the place. But this man at least had the wisdom and he had the authority to call me out, to say, no, this is not your level, young man. And that disarmed all my walls. When someone looks at you and tells you, this is not your level, at the core, you realize that, no, man, life can be better than this. This is not me. So you see, it's a number of things that help you. But once you're on that path, the biggest thing that will change your life is your habits. The biggest thing that will change your life, like in 5 years, in 10 years' time. I picked this up from Jim Rohn because he was giving a seminar and he was saying the difference between failure and success. Failure is little bad choices that you make consistently every day. Little bad choices that you do every day. That's a habit of doing the wrong thing. So if I'm making a choice right now about what to eat, I can make a bad choice and eat something that's not healthy, that's going to be detrimental for my health. But
Yeah.
in the moment, it doesn't feel like it's disaster. Right? Same with taking care of yourself in terms of your health. There are many choices that you take. In the moment, they're not a disaster. But you don't realize that if you keep making that decision for the next 5 years, disaster is coming, right? So that works with failure, that works with success. Few good habits that you start to introduce to your life that you're going to do consistently every day. If you're saving, the little that you can save. If you're investing, the little that you can invest, right? If you're learning, the little amount of time that you can devote to learning, but you introduce good habits and practices every day that you do consistently. 5 years looks significantly different than 5 years ago. 5 years later looks different. That's habits are the biggest shift that can get you out.
Now that you are able to snap out of it after 5 years, how were you able to pay back the 2 million debt?
Now that took long. It took long. It was the same strategy I used with the credit card.
Okay.
That because the way I work sometimes with incubators and accelerators, sometimes with ad hoc clients. Now, because of the book, I get clients that call me and say, come run a workshop for our team, financial literacy for our team. And when they pay those, it's normally lump sums. So I then take the lump sum. So imagine, I'll give you one example. There's a corporate that called me and said, we want you to do this financial fitness for all our team members. There were 176.
Yeah.
And they said, how much do you charge? At the time, I had just been charging the book for people to bring me to their teams and then say, cover my logistics. So I thought, nah, these guys are too big for me to tell them my real price, which is the price of the book.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? Let me charge a corporate price. And I said, I can't tell you an email. I'd rather we have a meeting. And we had the meeting. I said, no, come through. Because I wasn't confident to type a number.
Yeah.
I wanted to read the body language. And when I'm there, I said 900 per person. But I'm flexible and we can talk about it.
You're
and
negotiating,
stuff. Before they even say anything, I'm even telling them it's 900, but we can talk about reducing it and stuff. They looked at me and said, only. And then I had that feeling, have I just grossly undercharged? Because apparently the people that they were working with were paying way more than that.
Yeah. Jeez.
That was welcome to corporate language and corporate pricing and stuff. And at least for them, they allowed me to increase the price per person, imagine. So that's when I developed the workbook and stuff, because now there was a budget. So when you get payments like that, 176 people, and they paid, the first time it was 1.2 per person.
Okay.
But for future workshops, they increased it to about 2,000.
Per person.
Per person, yeah. For the different workshops. Because I ran 3 workshops, a sales workshop, a personal transformation workshop, and a financial literacy workshop. So later they increased it. So when you get lump sums like that, it becomes easy to pay. So my journey
So
to
you'd
pay...
have how many people per workshop?
Oh, no, it differs. So this one was 176 at 1.2. But the future ones, they would say like 30 people.
Let me just do my small calculation. You said 162 times 1.2. Okay. Yeah. No, I got that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it gets nice when you work with corporate.
Yeah.
So because I work with these guys, my podcast is way small, but it's not as big as yours.
Yeah.
But some of my clients
Yeah.
have started sponsoring.
So the workshop would last for like a day.
Yeah,
Hours.
it's 1 day workshop. It's a 1-day workshop.
Wow,
Or you're doing the math to say
calculating
1
in
day
my
looks
head.
like this. Now, it can get really good when you're working with corporates.
Serious?
Yeah.
Sure.
It can get very
Just training people.
training people.
Because I saw you had Doric.
Yes.
Doric Sitole. She also trains people.
She's a
She would-
trainer, yeah.
Yeah, she would tell me, but I wouldn't really pay attention to what she's talking about. And then now when you're telling me, I'm like, oh, so this is how much she would be
This
making.
is what
I see.
it
I
means.
see.
So there's training. I train with CEDA, with other incubators and stuff. It works a bit differently. I'm a coach for the Innovation Hub as well.
Yeah.
So they've got training rates per day. They are really good as well, but not corporate good. So when you get corporate lump sum, which is, I think I benefited from hanging around Percy because I didn't have the mindset to do it that way. Where when you get lump sums, you take it and you go to paying off your debts and stuff. It's hanging around him that I started to condition myself to think in that way. So paying back the debt wasn't really a long, hard process because of that. But the lesson there becomes, one, you need to be intentional about getting rid of the debt. Two, you need to be able to raise your earning capacity, build your skills level so that you've got products, services, offers that you can put to the marketplace that people want to pay for. And if you start at level 1, continue educating yourself so that you can get paid at level 2 as well. Continue meeting people, continue hanging around with justice. They'll give you that added little hack there, tip there. Man, you are sharing. Like in the 30 minutes we were talking, you taught me a heck of a lot about podcasting.
Yeah.
And this is like 30 minutes of brotherhood. That shifts me because it means the next time I'm doing podcasting, I've got a different mindset. It's elevated. I've learned, right? You keep doing that. You're never in a position to dig yourself out if you're not in the game in the first place. So this whole journey begins with get in the game. You're fighting to win this game. You're fighting to figure it out. And you're going to meet mentors along the way. You're going to meet opportunities along the way. Some of them you really don't see coming. Do you think a year ago I saw this coming?
I don't think so. Maybe you dreamt about
Definitely
it.
not. I'm not going to lie and say what it was in my vision, but I did not see it coming at all. An interview like this with the mighty. So you see, you don't see what's coming next. All you do is put your best foot forward in the moment and just execute with excellence, execute with humility, keep learning. Some opportunities will present themselves. If you expose yourself to these good rooms where you keep learning and in seminars and stuff, in a seminar, 1-day seminar, you can spend the whole day there and learn one thing that helps you make a different shift, gives you a different perspective about what you're doing, whether it's a side hustle, your job, or your business. That one shift is enough to make you move from that step 1 to the next step. And then you go to another seminar, and you go to another workshop. And then you read another book, and then you watch another video. When you are intentional about being in the journey of growth and just responding to that call that says life can be better than where I am, you will meet opportunities that right now you don't see coming. But it's going to be a beautiful surprise somewhere down the line.
No, I love that. I love that so much. Are you open for mentorship?
Yes, I'm saying it nervously because capacity.
Because I wanted to put you on the spot and say, for the 5,000 people who are watching this, if maybe they want you to become their mentor, are they able to reach out to you, so that you can help them out?
All right, so I'm going to, I think after this interview, I'll create a link for them to book so that I block out all the days that I have unavailability for, because there are a lot. So I'd say if you want to reach out, besides the book, you can go to my website and we'll put the link. Website will be ntandomaseko.com. We'll put the link and you can book there. Or since Percy got me on Facebook, you can DM me on Facebook or DM me on Instagram with my name. Ntando Maseko. I'll help. I never ignore people. So if you DM me there, I'll find a plan for you.
100%. You've got an incredible book. Welcome to Financial Freedom.
Yeah.
Get in the game and play to win. It's an incredible book. Why write the book?
So the book was basically, actually in chapter 2 there's a story, a very interesting story of a woman that was trying to get funding and then got rejected because she was working. So the agency said, the government agency she was applying at said, we can't fund you because you are employed. You know what she did? She quit her job and went and took a package. And when she did that, went back to the agency and said, we can't fund you because you don't have like a business yet. So start the business. She starts with the business and goes back to the agency and says, now I need funding. They say, we can't fund you. You started your business in a small town. It has no capacity to scale there. And then she closes that business and goes to a big town. And they charge her 9 months rent as part of the deposit. So there's the deposit and there's the 9 months rent that she pays in advance. She uses the rest of her money to buy some equipment, but because of the size of the place, it wasn't enough to open the doors. Goes back to the agency and they say, we can't fund you. The business plan that you have is not up to date. Now you can see it's over a year of back and forth and big decisions that she's taking with the last monies of a package after you retire. And in the end, they say, let's get someone to write a business plan, and that business plan is going to be what we use because the one you have is outdated.
Yeah.
So CEDA said, let's get a consultant that we trust. They'll write the business plan, update it, and we submit it, right? And by this time, there was noise around this project. And they got the business plan got written, and because now the agency is in trouble, it's under the spotlight, they used the business plan and said, we can't fund you because the gross margin that you used in the business plan is wrong for your sector.
Sure.
It shows you don't know what you're doing. So there's two things at play there. And it's the first time I'm saying this part because I always hide this part. Even in the book, this part is not there. The person who wrote that business plan,
it's you. What?
So that became one of my biggest mistakes. Just a wrong gross margin for the sector. Everything else was fine. And I was called in a high pressure moment as a consultant that was the most trusted. But I knew what was going on behind the scenes, of course. They already didn't want to find. So they were always going to be looking for something. But it hurt that I was involved in the whole grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
But the second bit, I always say I don't even know the conversation I had with her. But we had like 3 hours of talking together and she was crying half the time. It meant she lost everything. Because by the time this was happening, then the deposit has been exhausted as well.
Sure.
So she had lost the deposit, she had lost everything this side, and they had locked up the assets that she had bought. Ended up losing her house and lost a lot. But after this 3 hours coaching sessions that she says I gave her, I was so traumatized that I don't remember. You know, there's something in psychology called dissociative amnesia, where because of the pressure in the moment, your brain can block out a memory and you actually forget the trauma that happened. You forget details about a traumatic event. I'm using it as an excuse, I know. But I really don't remember what I said to her. But she said that coaching session changed my life. I was about to give up. In that moment, you instilled the seed for me to fight. I went and fought. This is what I did. This is what I did. This is what I did. This is what life will look like. This is how it first got worse and then got better. And now I want to send you a picture. This is the house that I've bought. She bought a house twice as big as the one she lost.
For real?
For real.
Jeez.
So when I saw that, and I was talking about stories like that and the kind of coaching sessions I have with people. I get called in the incubators when people have lost everything. I think The one thing I don't like though is when they introduce me, they say this guy has context. He's lost it all. He's been broke. It's become how
It's like
they.
you work in the ICU of business,
I
business
work,
rescue.
I work in the ICU and someone is crying and they say, man, my wife is leaving.
Sure,
I've lost everything. So they call me for those. I saw that and they turn around and I said, let me interview you. I'm going to put your story in the book, and it made it to the book. There was that story and another participant that called me out in a workshop and said, you know what, man, we're tired of hearing you teach about this financial literacy thing. Just write a book and we'll buy it. I want to commit. If you write the book, I'll be the first person to buy it. And when someone expresses that much faith in you, man, you just, at some point it hits you.
Yeah.
I think it's time now. I think it's time to help someone out there share my story, share the things that I was doing, the disciplines. When I'm saying habits will make the biggest difference, sometimes you don't know what habits.
Yeah.
So that's what I then put in the book there. And I then just wrote the book for that. First, it was for my clients, and I realized it started to sell. But what I didn't see coming, which is the best part about just getting in the game, what I didn't see coming was that companies were going to call me to come and train financial literacy for their teams. I didn't see coming that a corporate would come and challenge my price and say, young man, you don't know how to price yourself. Eh? You don't know how to charge what you're worth. Let's upgrade you and increase your rate. Right? I still have the rate I was using for other teams because they are for other companies because we are not corporate. But I didn't see that coming. And it's always humbling when you see, look, I was on social media, I was telling you earlier, because that was a source of depression for me. I would see how well people were doing and thought, you know what, I'm already depressed.
Yeah.
You know, even people in school that used to come for advice and you thought, now their life is amazing. It would be a trigger for me. So I just ended up saying, you know what, let me blacklist myself. But now when the book was there, I was with Bo Witness and all these other guys that are on social media and they're selling books. And I'm happy that, I've sold about 2,000 books. And one of them said, I sold 4,000 the first week of launching. Wow. That's the power of social media. And I thought, I'm missing a trick. I need to get the social media thing. So I'm glad that I've started the YouTube. I'm glad that I've gotten into the social media, man. It's making a difference. The book is about 2008 now, sold, and I'm still even getting started on social media.
Yeah.
But the best part for me was just going to people's teams, training them, because a lot of employees are stressed, and that their performance is affected in the workplace because of the financial stress at home. 2 weeks ago, I was running this boot camp with teachers, 43 teachers in Mpumalanga. And the pitch there was even teachers are bringing financial stress to the classroom, not beating it out on the kids, but they can't perform at the level that they could because they're carrying this anxiety and stress around where their money situation is. And man, it broke my heart when after the seminar, one of them said, young man, you are coming too late for me because you just showed me in this workshop how I blew my money, why I blew my money. You like came as a prophet to explain all of what was going on, but you came too late because I took 3 million and I blew all of it. Right now, I don't know what I'm going to do next. I had to offer them a coaching session. So those are the moments that make you proud that you wrote the book in the first place. That you put yourself out to be available to train teams and you see the impact. And that you just bet on yourself first and are showing people that, look, we all have value to give in the marketplace. It's just challenging yourself to keep learning and putting yourself out there. Sometimes people will reject your work. It's okay. Not everyone is going to be your target market, right? But there's always going to be people that appreciate you for who you are and what you do and what you believe in. And those are your people. And those will grow you.
Brother, man, thank you so much for coming through. I really appreciate your time. Wow, what an amazing episode that, it also helped me a lot. I've been listening to you and I'm like, yo, wow, this is actually very big. Even though I know a lot of people, they didn't get to hear our behind the scenes
Our
conversation.
behind the scenes stuff.
The one that was super, super hot. But I hope you come back for a part 2 so that we can talk about other stuff as well. There's so much to talk about. I mean, like
So much, man.
you've got 2 books. You're dropping another one like the next month, so which is very, very incredible. Send me the link so that I can put it down there on the comment section so that people can book the
I'll
book
hook
and
it up,
buy the
man.
book. How much is it?
I'll hook it up. The book is 300.
$300,
Yeah.
including shipping.
For now, if they buy it after you, yes.
Okay. But yeah, thank you so much, brother, for coming through. I really appreciate your
I
time.
appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.